One of my favorite songs after I accepted the Lord was this song, Out of My Bondage, Sorrow and Night. And I was reminded of a verse in Matthew 11:28 and 29, those two verses, where Jesus says, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest in your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." When Jesus started his ministry and he spoke in the synagogue, he read these verses. "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim liberty to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to set at liberty those who are oppressed, to proclaim a year of the Lord's favor." In the last year, many times, almost every day, we would have heard the word pandemic or mask or COVID. But we also thank God that we've heard wonderful words of life, uplifting words from our Lord Jesus Christ, which comforted us and gave us strength to bear our burden. In this song, "Out of My Bondage," we come to the Lord and we tell Him, "Lord, I want to give up my bondage." Many of us have been in bondage too, as we heard, discouragement or complaining or condemnation or some bad habit which we want to get rid of from our lives. But we thank God that we come to Jesus and say, "Lord, I want to exchange this bondage which I'm in and come into your freedom. I want to give up my sorrow and experience the gladness which you can give me. I want to give up the darkness and light and night in my life, and I want to come into that spiritual light. I want to give up my sickness, spiritual sickness especially, and come into that spiritual health which you want to give me. I want to give up all the wants and needs in my life and come into your wealth, Lord, the spiritual wealth which I've just begun to taste of. I want to give up my life of sin and I want to have the life of Jesus. I want to give up my shameful failure and all the losses, spiritual losses especially, and I want to gain the gain of the cross. I want to exchange the storms of life and come into the calm which you can give me. I want to give up my distresses and get that jubilant psalm in my life, that song in my heart every day of my life. I want to give up all the unrest and the arrogant pride, and I want to come into your will, Lord. I want to give up despair, and I want to give up and get the joy which you give me, Lord. Sometimes I have the fear of death, especially in the time of sickness, but I thank you that in your presence there's fullness of joy. I want to give up the ruin which I had in my past. I want to come into the fold, into your fold of your flock. I want to rise up every day to spiritual heights. I want to behold your glorious face every day. Amen.